Why are you always laughing at
That
me?
leg dance gets me every time, man. It's such a good little dancey dance you do.
I'm telling you, this is straight from Pootie Tang.
It's your little dancey dance.
Yeah, it's from Pootie Tang.
I know. It's great.
Okay, I'm just saying. That's where it comes from. We will bring Pootie Tang back to life on this show.
Do you think we could get him on the show?
I think no one's getting him on any show, so I don't think it matters. I don't think if we called him, he would be like, this is the first call I've gotten in 35 years
down
to talk about Pootie Tang. I would love to have Pootie Tang on the
I
show.
think we could figure that out. Mark, put that on the list of things that we should reach out to.
I'll buy his ticket. I don't know what his financial status is, but
I can't imagine it's very good right now.
Well, that's pretty much a cult classic.
Yeah, he's one of those people that gets a check every year for like $38 $38.
Yep. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie or favorite car movie?
I don't care, whichever movie.
Favorite movie is Interstellar.
I agree. That's an excellent movie. I don't know that it's my all-time favorite, but it's definitely top 10.
Hands down,
Yeah,
Interstellar.
top 10.
It's just from start to finish. It's just
Nolan is a king, and that's top 10 for sure.
absolutely. Favorite car movie is definitely Rush.
I 100% agree.
That is the
And even the fear of death itself is the will to win. Which is why I'm here begging. You really think you can beat him? Trust me.
It's the best car movie
That is the
ever
best
made.
car movie ever made. Yeah,
Ford versus
great.
Ferrari is close.
That was an okay movie from a historical standpoint,
Yeah,
but
but
Rush, I
Rush
feel, is like, it really encompasses like the human nature of people that are car people.
Don't go to men who are willing to kill themselves driving in circles looking for normality.
I like that it showed like the side that no one like. Lauda and Hunt had that relationship, and they portrayed it perfectly.
Yeah,
like,
they did a really good
They did a
job, I
really
agree,
good job
yeah.
of showing it. Like car people that watch it, racing and stuff, we know of that, but most people didn't know it.
Yeah.
And they brought it to the screen perfectly with Chris
No, it was
Hemsworth.
an excellent movie. I think the new Brad Pitt movie sucks. The F1. I mean, compared to that, it's just
No,
not
by a
on
long
the same.
shot.
Yeah,
It's a different scale of movie though.
yeah. I agree.
Rush-
It's not like a Hans Zimmer. Well, it has still a Hans Zimmer score, doesn't
but
it? Yeah,
They're both scored by Hans Zimmer, but Rush wasn't an epic. Like Rush was very much. It was that was the point of that movie. That one, F1 was an epic. I felt like it was like a blockbuster of the summer where they used all the craziest technologies and all the craziest.
But I feel
shit.
like it was too much. Like it just wasn't necessary for like it didn't
was
tell
cool.
the story as well as like Rush had a realistic component to it.
Well,
F1 had a very like movie component to it.
Well, because Rush was pulling from history.
It's
and
like
that's
it's like
easy.
Fast and Furious when cars fly in the air and other planes catch them, and Pontiac Fieros go to space.
And Vin Diesel looks
Yes.
taller than 6 feet.
Yep. Yeah. Just
What's your
doesn't work.
favorite car movie of all time?
I agree with you.
Rush?
I think Rush. Yeah, I think Rush is probably like top one ever. I mean, Gone in 60 Seconds, I think, is a classic.
That holds a special
not
place in my heart.
Yeah, not so much.
Fast
and
and
the
Furious
the
2.
original, yeah, Fast and Furious, the first one,
2000,
yeah.
yeah.
The first one, or like those were like real era correct.
They were
movies.
impactful.
Yeah, era correct movies, not overdone. But anyways, I think there's been a significant shortage of good movies. I mean, there was that horror movie that just came out, Weapons.
Oh, I heard it was good.
It's really good.
saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. Except the end of it.
Hold on, don't tell me. So you know why the kids leave at 2 whatever the time?
Yeah.
Don't
But
tell
I'm
me.
not going to tell you that. I won't spoil it. It's a really well shot movie, and it's superbly done. The only issue with it is you get through it through 90% of the movie, and you're like, holy shit, this is really good. How are they going to wrap this up? And then the ending just leaves. You would think like a cliffhanger for like next time, but it really doesn't have next time. Like it doesn't have that cliffhanger. Something's going to happen next time. It has more of a cliffhanger that you might get a prequel at some point to kind of hear out what like the beginning story was, because you don't get any answers. It's one of these movies that like you get zero answers. But like I think other movies that are like unbelievable, I Origin. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's an amazing movie. Cloud Atlas, amazing movie.
Cloud, I couldn't sit through the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, I got to a part of it and I was like, oh, I'm done.
I've watched that movie like 15 times. I think it's an amazing movie.
That one, you know what movies like that for me? Equilibrium. Remember that one?
Yeah, but that's had nothing to do with
with
that.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, I've seen that one too, but that's a completely different movie.
Nah,
but
that's
yeah.
like a straight to DVD thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But-
Anyways, did you hear that apparently Russia is now entering NATO territory? We forgot to cover this last week.
Yeah, we
but
forgot to bring that up. So they flew jets into
I don't know, somewhere
restricted
Poland or somewhere,
airspace.
Like,
yeah.
Where do you think these wars are going? Because look, China is telling Trump to fuck off with Venezuela. They said basically they told him to calm the fuck down with Venezuela. Then, in order to retaliate against this, Trump said, "I want the military base in Afghanistan back." because he wants to be close to China.
Bagram.
Yeah, and I love how the one thing I absolutely find hysterically funny about Trump, he like literally will go and tell the world why he wants something. He's like, hey, we should take that base in Afghanistan because that way we can strike China easier. It's like, oh, thanks for like the secrecy of like why you want, instead of being like, you know what, we own that base, we built it, we'd like it back just in case so we can have some stability in the Middle East, and then haha, surprise. It's like, no, just in case we decide to strike China, we would like to be right then and there, as close as it can. Just letting you guys know we're basically taking this base back.
Yeah,
It's like,
we're getting ready for war.
what the fuck, dude? Like, it's like you're brought on the like head of Fox News to fucking run the Department of War or whatever that is, and then
Pete Hesse.
yeah, and then now you're like literally announcing on Fox News what you're gonna do before the operation. It's like, I don't understand what's the point of like saying shit like this. It only escalates the.
It's for the optics of it.
Yeah, but what
all
optics?
To
It's
look
like
cool or sound cool about shit. When in reality, it's just we know what's coming. It's
Yeah,
like,
but I just feel like we already have Russia trying to go to Ukraine. Like they now are taunting to see if NATO will do anything. You look at China is trying to protect Russia and its interest there. It's now saying, hey, we want to protect Venezuela. America wants Taiwan. China wants Taiwan. There's all these like open conflicts, and there's still a guy out there that doesn't believe we're in World War III already. And I think we've been in World War III.
yeah, it's just not the war that we thought it would be. It wasn't
Well,
tanks.
I think it's just
and-
modern.
Yeah,
you
it's
know, modern warfare is
Different.
financial,
Cyber-
drones,
cyber.
cyber, like, and I think we've been at war with China for years. Like, we just don't like. It's just the propaganda machine that's going on the
Churning,
internet,
dude.
Yeah,
That
like
shit
I don't
doesn't stop.
understand. Like, I don't understand why people don't see that as an act of war. Like, it's such a bizarre. But at the same time, you know, I was making an argument that we've been meddling in other people's affairs
forever. We
generations,
try to
so-
be the school guard, like
Yeah,
the
but-
guard of the world.
and I think we've done a really bad job at it lately.
yeah,
so,
terrible.
terrible.
We are the worst stepdad ever.
Yeah,
We're the worst
Yeah.
stepdad ever.
lots of inconsistencies. But
Slap
there
mama
is
around and
hope.
shit.
Let's hope they can turn it around.
How much hope can we rely on? Because haven't we been hanging on hope for the past 10 years, 15 years, and hoping it gets
Well,
better, and then it
so-
doesn't?
So I think that that's the problem is we're hoping. So see, here's my argument about like looking at outlook and forecast of what's happening in the world, because I will argue two things. First off, there's a lot of negative things going on in the world all the time.
Plenty.
All the time. And the social media has made it that we can see everybody's life all the time.
Yep.
Correct? Like we can see that the world's fucked up every day because we get a view into the phone.
Yep.
Right? Like, so we didn't see that before. So even though genocide's happening now, we've seen that before. Like, meaning we never used to see it. Now we're seeing it live happen. So we have a problem with it. So we don't need to have an opinion on everything happening at once all the time because we never did, because we never had access. Now that we have access doesn't mean we should. But there's a real dynamic shift. I think that people, when they say, I want things to be better, they think that the past was better.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Historically, it's
it
not.
wasn't.
And statistically, it's not. Like, crime was higher. Wars were more, like death casualties were. So like
Everything. Health,
but
even in
it's like
health,
now we
everything.
see it. So it seems amplified, like glorified, whatever. So it's just a different dynamic than before. But I feel like it's not worse now than it was before.
No, you just see it. That's it.
But it just needs to change. Like, it needs to be different. Like, the dynamic of like deglobalizing trade across the board isn't a good dynamic if you don't have an alternative.
Correct.
Like, and that's what they keep doing. Like, if you say like welfare is bad or like social security is
Yeah,
bad,
what's
fine.
the alternative?
We all agree. Everybody, I think, agrees that social security is bankrupt. Welfare is terrible. There needs to be better guardrails. I think every single human that watches, no matter what country you're in, would agree that your country has an immigration issue, no matter who you are, open borders or whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that without a plan to fix that, and instead of just saying we're just going to kick people out and not having a plan to let the people that are in get their green cards faster, get their processing faster, so they can become contributing members of society or whatever it is, then we're not really fixing the problem. We're just keep pushing. But I've always argued that one of the reasons politicians, even when they have control of the ability to create laws, do not create solutions to their problems, which
Make more problems.
no, it's because they run on these problems. So if they fix them,
Then there's nothing for them to run on.
Yes, exactly.
So you basically
Like you take away the only reason people need you. So like
you solve the problem that you
yeah,
spoke
because
about.
I've argued that Democrats had the House, the Senate, and they kept complaining about women's rights. So I'm a big like people can choose whatever the fuck they want to do with their
course.
body. It's not my problem. But one of the things that's interesting is like every time they've had the ability to do something about it, they do nothing.
They don't.
They do nothing about it. Zero. And so the argument is why? Like, or why don't they do anything about gun rights, right? Like, or like gun violence, which they keep playing on, like, which they keep saying we have a systematic gun problem and blah blah blah.
Okay, so do something about it. No, we can't encroach on the rights of gun people. It's
Like,
what?
we can't do anything about it. But then what happens is if they physically can, meaning they have the ability to pass laws and do things, etc., they don't do it. And then what ends up happening is if they would have done it, and then they blame it on one or two from their party, it's like, oh, they can't be convinced, or they're taking money from these gun lobbies, whatever. And so you take all your attention and you follow the money, like they say, and you go like, oh, these guys are like evil, we'll vote them out of office. So you wait 4 more terms before you're like, oh, we have better people. Then the other people have turned. But the point that I'm trying to make is that no politician will ever fix the problems they run on because those are the problems that got them to be elected to begin with. So if you take these problems out of it, then it's very difficult to basically like then have a reason to vote for them. Like if Democrats keep running on these like issues with like the transgender people, the LGBTQ community, etc., and anytime they have power, they do nothing about it. Like they don't fortify anything or whatever else.
They're so stupid.
Right. And then
dumb as shit.
Right. But then what happens is that base will now no longer vote because they're like, we have rights now, we're good. So we're not going to do anything anymore around that. Here are the other issues. And socially, I don't think Democrats have enough to run on because fiscally nobody likes them. No. But socially, that's why people vote. Win, yeah, they win socially. So if they can't fix social issues, because that's all they run on. And I just think that it's just really sad.
And they're also spineless.
Yes, and I think that's what happens. That's the one downfall of capitalism. And one of the key things I think that's really important to take away in life about capitalism is that capitalism is a system that rises above politics and then influences politics versus other countries might have free markets like China, which are, people can get somewhat rich, maybe not as rich or as crazy, but their viewpoint does not impact
the dollar.
Like their viewpoint does not impact what direction the country takes. So if like, even though it's not maybe the best or most open government that you would think, but at least whatever direction they choose, they socially progress there because they don't have this back and forth thing going on with like who's in power, who's got money behind that power, what do we want to see?
No, they're like,
so it's like the guy's like, this is what we're doing. Everyone under adapt and you'll make it. And then they know that whatever direction they went, that's not changing. So they're like, what do we have to do? They just announced, I think, last week that the NVIDIA chips or whatever.
Yeah, the NVIDIA chips.
Yeah, they're just banning them from China. So they're going to put AI like back to get those people. But like in my eyes, that's a perfect example. Like they do that and they stick with it. And then we can't stick with like ban TikTok. Like meaning like we have to go through like, how do we make sure we make everyone happy? Who's making money on TikTok? Can we have a different way of having TikTok? Like in their other government, like overnight they choose basically. They're like, this is terrible for us. We're out. Like we're just not doing it. Yeah, we're not doing anything. But in this government, they're basically like, oh, we're out. But then all the money comes in and goes, why? Well, like let's pay you. Let's make
real
sure.
People in power.
Exactly. So it just turns into this cartoon character situation. But one other thing I want to talk about is someone brought up this last week to me called the bottom quintile.
The quintile.
I don't even know how to say.
I got it for you here.
Do you
the
know
bottom
what that is?
quintile effect. Yeah.
You want to put it up on the screen?
Yes,
I thought this was a very interesting take on poverty. So this says maybe the most important thing you learn by attending public schools is that we're all at the mercy of the bottom. How do you say that word? Quintile. So the rules you follow in life will be based on the behavior of the bottom. The taxes you pay are to support the bottom. The greatest risks to your life and property will come from the bottom. The death of comfortable public spaces because you have to allow the bottom to be there. Our zoning laws are developed. And there's so much fucking truth to this.
There's a lot of truth in that.
That is like 100%.
Logical truth, not even based on a feeling. No, he's just saying this is what it is.
Everything is built on that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And then we complain that the system is not built to build winners. It's just made to build people that are complicit in the space and sit through the space and don't do shit.
Meant to build workers.
Yes,
$0,
but,
just
but
workers.
it's like, hey, but then the system complains that we're not championing, like real heroes, real good soldiers. Like,
we let the dollar, we let the dollar be more powerful than education, like intelligence. Because at some point there has to be like you're saying, there has to be a smart person in the room that goes, "Yo, nah."
But I don't think it's about intelligence. It's that the system is so focused on monetary gain.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
there
saying.
is so much more monetary gain to train the masses than to train the exceptions.
Mhm.
Like you train the rule, you don't train the
Exception.
exception, which I understand. But there's also there's no monetary success in just train. Like you have to think about it this way. If I said I only want to train people that are rich, then I would have to charge substantial amounts of money because I would have a pool of like 1,000 people
Yeah.
to sell to. But if I said I wanted to train everyone,
Yeah,
well, I could
huge pool.
charge like less money, which would be a benefit to rich people. Then I have to pay as much to get the same training that they'll use versus everyone else won't use it, but will
Mhm.
buy it. So, but yet the price index is set based primarily on the fact that it's affordable for all,
Yeah.
not for those that'll use it. Right? Get it? Like meaning
Okay.
like it could be more. If I knew that only 20% of people were like super successful with it, then I would say, well, I got to charge 50 grand
Yeah.
for it instead of $500. And then I would have to hunt for that 50 grand,
Mhm. Every
like
month you have
a
to find it.
person, like where is that person,
Where you kind of, it's like how airlines overbook flights. That's kind of
Yes,
more or less
exactly.
what you're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
overbooking it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
counting on 20% of you.
But here's a perfect example. They never overbook first class.
No,
They never overbook business class.
but the likelihood of a business class rich versus poor, the likelihood of a first class or business class customer missing their flight is a lot lower than 23B.
Yes, and
that's
it
going to
also
Miami for the weekend.
100%, and it's also more consequential
If first class
if the
misses.
first or business class misses
That's
their
a
flight.
$2,000 seat versus a $200 seat.
And there's a larger lawsuit behind it
Mhm.
because of everything else that basically you have.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like if I
It's a
bump
domino
you
effect.
out of business class, right? And you don't get to your place, it's likely that you're staying at a 5-star hotel. It's likely that you have all these costs that are
It trickles
significant.
all the way down.
So to be able to support bumping you off the flight, I have to pay $100K versus to bump a poor guy off a flight from economy.
$200.
Oh, here's a hotel voucher. Here's $200. There's a
drink- a
holiday.
drink card,
There's
yeah.
a Holiday Inn across. There's a lounge there. Go sit and hang out, and we'll figure it out.
Open tab.
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's
the,
true.
the cost base is so much cheaper. So I think that we never look at life in that regard.
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, the domino effect is huge because the flight, then the hotel room at the one, the dinner reservations he made that night, the rental car that he got, the hooker that he paid for when he was there.
I don't know if you get hooker credits, but if you do, then that's something we
No,
should
once
miss
they charge you,
on.
that's it. The money's gone, right?
Okay. No, yeah, it's done.
You can't like submit for like a return or anything?
No, and you can't even like once you actually order the hooker, you can't reschedule. It's really bad. Hookers are becoming like high demand things. Like
Jesus
it's just
Christ.
yeah.
Do they
it's
take like
difficult.
tap to pay now?
I don't know. Maybe like a Tesla opens. You'll have to figure out where to put it.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that was terrible.
But I do agree with this. This is a very the bottom. I understand it. It makes sense. Like, I mean, that's how it kind of has to be that way.
Mhm.
Because if you go on the inverse doesn't work. You just said the alternative doesn't work.
Well, I think the inverse doesn't work, but I think it's becoming that because I'll tell you this. We talk about cars here a lot. Car prices are going up
By a lot.
by a lot.
Yeah, Porsche just went up $6,500 across the board.
So collector cars too, luxury and collector cars to the roof. Normal cars are depreciating, like used cars are depreciating, but they're becoming affordable. New cars are becoming unaffordable, even for Hyundais and things like that, because the price goes up. There is this very direct division happening where they are pricing out poor people. And listen, don't get offended when I call people poor. There is a poverty line, depending on the state you live in, that you like it or not. Your income is where it is based on that poverty line. And when I mean poverty, I mean your capacity to own things without worrying about the financial consequences of owning them. So if you feel that you're getting priced out of a market, you're going to reach alternative solutions for transportation, such as Uber or
Robocars.
automation. Yeah, robocars.
Robocars.
You were saying something about robocars are like
I
something.
actually was saying something about robocars.
Yeah.
Right there, robocar. Perfect
Yeah,
example.
so these things are a good example of like you're not going to have a car, you're going to be driven around in a like transportation mode. This is like a bus.
It's just mass
basically. A
transportation.
bus without a guy
Individual
driving.
mass
Yeah, exactly.
transportation.
So it's fake luxury again. Basically saying you don't want to ride the bus. This is a safety issue or whatever. Here, you can ride this instead, and it's the middle class's way to automate transportation. And I think it's terrible. I think it's pricing people out of independence and forcing them into dependence on the system.
Well, it's like I got to ride in like the earlier versions of these a couple years ago, like when they had like the Waymo automated Jaguars and shit, and like it goes back to the conversation we had 2 weeks ago, like how automation and AI is going to take over everything. So they are making us do this, but then it's like this is a job that someone could have.
Yeah, but so driving. I don't know if you know this. Driving is one of the biggest jobs in America.
I can imagine.
Yeah, driving. That doesn't mean like driving a race car.
No, like a trucker.
All types of driving,
types of
Uber, whatever you want to call it. Like if you're driving for a living, that's one of the biggest jobs. One of the top things that I saw 10 years ago when Elon introduced the idea of doing an 18-wheeler that drives itself for deliveries. I said, this is going to be the reason unemployment soars to levels that are just unjustifiably high. Because that by itself is a huge dynamic shift in routes, speed, like everything that happens. And I thought that was the biggest, most influential business change that his company would basically bring to the current situation. But these things, just as an example, in busy cities, sure, like LA, et cetera.
New York.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they can make sense. But here's the argument: like, we've done such a bad job as a race, looking at work as some kind of negative, like negative sum effect. Like basically, we're like, oh, I hate my job as a driver. I wish I wasn't a driver. I hate my job as a taxi. So when I have people in my cab, like I'm gonna be on.
Yeah, miserable.
Yeah, and they're going to feel it, right? They're going to be like, where are you going? I'm going across the street. Okay, cool. Like, I'll drop you off, whatever. He's like $10. We've done such a bad job at connecting and appreciating the jobs we had that now that they're going away.
Now we're like, oh, no.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I want to be a cab driver. No, you didn't. You was bitching about it.
Yeah, all the time. So I think that the problem with the division between AI taking jobs or not comes down to they're taking the jobs you bitched about anyways.
You didn't want to do it.
But you didn't want to earn the skills anyways to get the other jobs you really could have wanted, whatever, because there wasn't an immediate reward and someone wasn't paying you to learn online, go to school, get a certification, whatever it is you want to do. So I feel like there's this break right now in this reality check that's coming up where people are like, oh, so I'm getting priced out of basically all the things I used to do. I'm getting priced out of going to my favorite restaurant. I'm getting priced out of going to these other places. And I've been noticing this because Florida is really expensive. Like generally it's very, very expensive.
People think it's not. It's so expensive.
It's super expensive. It's like Beverly Hills money. So
wild money.
Yeah, I think technically worse, but that's my opinion. I've seen nicer houses in the Hollywood Hills for less money. So let's take a moment here and like go back to this. So I think that there is this huge like shift in who's doing what now. Like when I walk into my favorite restaurants and I used to see them booming on Fridays and Saturdays, now they always have a seat. They always have a table. And the quality of the people I see there is significantly richer than the people that were there before.
But there's less of them.
Yes, there's less. There's more room and there is more money being spent. And prices on the menu are like astronomical.
Ridiculous.
Like dishes that were $20 are like $42 and blah, blah, blah. And we're not even talking about Miami, like $200 dishes for no reason. We're talking about normal places. We're not talking about the hip hop place that you go like on a Friday night where everyone's going and there's limited space.
No.
We're talking about a regular lunch place you go to where a pasta used to be $25. Now it's $42. And what I'm saying is that there's less people going out. It's costing a lot more to go out. And it's becoming a luxury. And so people are getting, same with organic food. The cost is going up. So it's pricing people out of Whole Foods. And
I shop at Whole Foods and dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the bill goes from $200 to $350, nothing in my life changes. Like I can do this 15 times over a week. Nothing, like zero. Like I will not even look at the price and be like, oh, these eggs are more expensive. I should buy these. But I'm putting myself in the shoes of someone that like I used to be poor. So like my mom used to ration every little penny, every little cost. So I look at that and I look at a family with a child that's going and usually buying healthier food and now has to go back to shittier food because healthy food is just getting priced out. I look at those families wanting to buy a car. priced out. So they have to buy a shittier car or rely on public transportation. So we're seeing these shifts happen in people getting priced out of even participating.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think we're 5 years away from seeing the impact of it, meaning seeing the real dynamic impact of how much society changes as a whole once you have large groups of people that get priced out of everything. And I think we're going to see a very different two-tier system in America where you have certain states where people live within the dollar reason of what they can afford, and other states that are just completely
Here.
meaning completely like rich or
Gone,
fucking
yeah.
you're gone. Like there's no like
There's
way
no-
around.
there's
There's
no
no way
way
around it. You know, like the land's too valuable to a normal person.
Dude,
live
everywhere
there.
you go down here, I drove into Aventura on Saturday. I never go down there, and there's like a bajillion new buildings. And,
Yeah,
and they
no,
go
yeah.
up like this.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
And then also the cars like
Everything.
it's not normal. Like it's not meaning like we get jaded because we live in this world, so we see it all the time. But it's not normal. What we see down here is not normal. But I feel like it's a larger epidemic problem that's coming to the core of like people aren't realizing what 5 years from now.
What do you think the response is going to be?
A lot of chaos. Honestly,
In what-
I think
in what-
that
in
I
what,
think
like,
that
it's what capacity?
well, think about all these programs, welfare, like military programs, etc. They're designed to prevent offsets of like population control. So, for example, like you have people enlisted in the military, then you get wars, so they get called out. So unemployment gets controlled because basically these people are regular civilians. They're doing their
So
jobs.
it removes from the pool.
Exactly. So it opens more normal jobs so people can jump in, right? And they have war, so they pull these people and they pay them from the government to move them elsewhere. So that's part of it. The other part is also these programs like welfare, food stamps, etc. Like they're useful for some families. The take away who's abusing them doesn't matter. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you have these things because it prevents a poor person from having to steal or from having to attack someone to get food for their kids or whatever. So
Let me stop you there. I like the fact that you said that because that a lot of those things are in response to those exact procedures. So like when you price people out, they are forced to look for other
Exactly.
means to
Yeah,
get things.
exactly.
So I could afford the $1 apple before,
Exactly.
but now the apple's $2, but I
Exactly.
still have to feed my kid.
Exactly. So and when you have that price that comes up across the board and wages on moving at all, or they'll move very minimal because companies are scared. I mean, I've had to move wages like at least 30% across the board for all non-commissioned employees. You know, like meaning normal people who are not in a position to make more money
Yeah.
by selling more. People
You're
who
kinda
are just
capped, yeah.
exactly.
Salary.
Like so, the people that are either on salary or contractors that are on like a set schedule, everyone has been paid more, and not even because I feel bad for them, but because there is no math that maths for them to continue living in the town to be able to come to work.
Yeah.
So the argument is either I have to find new people and start over instead of having 8 years of experience or whatever, or I'm basically shit out of luck because people have to, like, they can't live here. You know, like they can't afford to live and also eat and whatever. Now,
Yeah.
we're not talking about like they should all drive Ferraris or whatever.
No, but
it's-
even having an apartment,
yeah, it's just terrible. It's just
you know,
absolutely
the
terrible.
market's getting out of control.
Absolutely. So let's get to, I know we have some car talk, so let's get a quick break and then we'll get into our car discussion.
Car crap.
You know, if you ever saw a guy like me riding in the back of a Rolls Royce with a fine Fox, you would automatically assume that I must be some kind of watch dealer. It does make sense in the end. That's what watch dealers do. But nonetheless, if you haven't had a chance to yet, make sure you check out grailsy.com where you can buy and sell really amazing timepieces, a site that I've used for the last few years that I've had a lot of success with acquiring some of my favorite watches to date. So make sure you visit grailsy.com and hopefully they're watching so they can eventually pay me to do ads like this for them. All right, we're back. So let's talk about cars now. It's been an interesting week. You know, we talked earlier about. Well, why are you laughing?
Cause like they just want to make you work all the fucking time, bro. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't. I was gonna say we just talked about robo taxis and shit, and now they're putting Microsoft Word in cars.
Bro, because we don't use
But what
Teams
is the
here.
point of this? I don't understand. When you're driving, they didn't want you texting. Now they're supposed to write an essay for like fucking for school or
what I'm thinking is going to be more so because it already does it. They're just adding the suite. Like right now, you can have Outlook in your car and it'll read you your emails, which
Okay.
is like
What's the
that's-
point of
you're
that?
a sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, what are
What's
you
the
doing?
point? Like,
But it'll do that. So I'm assuming it'll be paired up with all the self-driving stuff,
Okay.
and then it'll just be like a mobile office. So you'll just be driving around. You can have a Teams conversation, do all your shit all through the car, which is always hyper connected to everything. So it kind of makes it quote unquote more streamlined, I think. But I mean, that's just my 3.5 cents on it. But I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It
Like,
is stupid. You just all you're doing is removing people even more so.
I heard even Teslas get pissed if you don't stare at the road or you're on your phone, right?
Mark, when we rented a Tesla for PJ to drive. You guys see that video later. But when we were driving back home, I kept picking up my phone because we were all texting, and the car kept telling me, "Yo, stop."
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't understand that. So you have to pay.
It sees you. It has a
Yeah, you
camera
have
inside.
to. Yeah, well, I get that it sees you. It sees everything you do. It sees you jerking off at home too, and it's
Hey.
like, hey,
Hey.
you know, your left hand's kind of used.
My FBI agent is tired of me.
Yeah, but think about like the just the point of self-driving, but you're not supposed to take your eye off the road, and you're supposed to pay attention to the road so you can grab the steering wheel. What the fuck is that self-driving? It's not self-driving.
Semi-autonomous driving.
But what's the point, though? I don't understand. If your attention has to be on the road, then it ain't fucking driving itself. You're just sitting there not
People are
holding the
lazy.
steering wheel.
People are lazy.
Yeah, but you can't be that lazy where you're like, I don't want to hold the steering wheel.
You'd be so surprised how lazy they can be.
No, I know that. Like, I know people are lazy, and I know people don't like this idea of holding, you know, themselves accountable to driving a car. It's very difficult to do. They learned it 20 years ago. They struggle with it every day. They should be riding a bicycle. But outside of that, they're still buying these fucking cars. And last we checked, when you guys put me in that shit box, it was $100 a month for the thing to drive itself, and it doesn't work.
To use anything in the car costs money.
I know, but it's like the car is a giant upsell. So
It's
by
an
the
iPad.
time, yeah. So by the time, even if you own the car at $100K, you still have to buy all this shit for $300 a month.
You're
Like,
still on the hook for what? Another 30.
I don't even know what other options you can buy. But I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff you can buy in it that's useless.
You have to pay for the premium package. So you have Spotify, all that stuff. That's $10.
So hold on. Spotify's on your phone. Why do you have to pay for it?
So that it shows on the screen. It's $10.
But isn't
a
that
month.
Android Auto or
No, they
Apple
don't. There's
CarPlay?
no CarPlay or Android Auto in them either.
So you have to pay for Spotify separately from the fact that you're paying for the thing your phone already does.
You're on the right path. Yes. So
Okay.
you have to pay to see it on the screen and control it through
Okay,
the thing.
I understand. Okay, so at what point does a poor person realize they're a sucker?
Well, I don't know, because I did make that comment when I had the car, because the guy didn't even have that shit activated. I was like, how are you going to rent the car out and not have the car?
Yeah, but I
activated?
don't understand. So I'm having a really hard time understanding what is the appeal of this to poor people. Like, what is the appeal of a Tesla and the need to pay the subscription basis for the car to function as a Tesla?
Well, I think
Like, what's the point?
in the poor mentality, they you don't have to pay for that for like the first year, because
Well,
it comes
you eventually
included.
have to pay
Yeah,
for
it comes included with the car, so it kind of works. It's like a lease. They
Well,
kind of
no,
works.
so they force.
It used to be it used to be a year. It's only 30
so
days
they
now.
force you through getting something free, but then what they do is by the time this is a genius plan. And I understand why
To make
Elon's so
money.
rich, because by the time you don't want the car anymore, it's depreciated so much it's not worth anything, and you can't trade it in. So the only way you're going to enjoy your car is if you pay $300 a month. So you're stuck in a subscription for life, basically, right? Yeah.
Like, and then
But the car is still a piece of shit
you
inside
can't
out.
get- and you
There's
can't
nothing
get rid of
about it
them.
that
you
okay.
can't get rid of them. So it's like you just on the hook.
It's
for,
genius, though. If you're the business, it's genius. I mean, it's kind of evil, but genius at the same time. Meaning, like, it's genius for you, evil for the rest of the world.
Look who runs
you know?
it? An evil genius. He's literally a Marvel supervillain.
Yeah, that's
He's even got
that's
the
an
name.
interesting argument that you think Elon's a supervillain.
He's not being a very good one right now.
Well,
But
there's this line in Batman, that says you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Now, that line I believe in because I've seen even parts of myself where it becomes very easy to become the villain.
Yeah.
And get away with it in a lot of different situations. And you just have to really make that moral choice, which is like very difficult to do because there is no incentive.
to be morally just,
Yes,
zero.
zero. And that's so fucked up. There's no incentive that's recognized for that. But as soon as you choose to be the villain, right, you get the same type of treatment,
Get
but at least
demonized.
you get richer off of it, and you get kind of like, haha, it's about me and fuck you guys anyways. So such a bizarre dynamic that, that I think that's one of the problems with what poverty creates is it creates these people that basically they think they're fighting a fight that just fucking they're not fighting anything. It's like the guy that votes for like lower taxes because billionaires are getting taxed too much, but he's making like $30
You're going against
an
yourself,
hour.
yeah.
Like like I don't understand. Like,
You're voting against your own interests.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's
You're not voting for the greater good, but you're voting against your own interests. So ultimately, you're voting for other people to win in fights against you. You know,
But then what is that?
I think it's voting for the now, not voting for the truth. You know, like not voting. Like it's like more convenient to vote for what benefits me now.
Right now versus later. My kids will deal with it.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Anyways, I think it's just completely stupid. But anyways,
what are you
moving
gonna
on
do?
past the work at home. And
Let's go to
Tesla.
car stuff. Ugly fucking Lambo.
Yeah, what is that? This was like This was some kind of hypercar or something.
This
right?
was the pregunta, which means question in Spanish. Yes, I'm Spanish, people. It's a 1998 Lamborghini Pregunta concept. You heard all the Spanish there. But look at that. It's going to go to auction for could fetch over 3 million. Okay, so it's basically what they did with like the Veneno and all that bullshit. It was just...
But back then, it was the Diablo hypercar.
It's a Diablo hypercar, and then the Diablo
Instead
came
of
out.
the,
Correct.
like LPs. Because they're, what was it? The Reventon
The Reventon is a...
was a LP 640, like a Murcielago.
It's a Mercy in the
but-
inside.
Yeah,
and
so-
then with the Scion is basically an
Well, the
event.
Cia is an Aventador.
Is Aventador,
So is the
yeah.
Countach.
And the
they're
Countach, all
Aventador
Aventadors.
based. Yeah, Aventador based. So.
Not the Revi.
No, the Revi's
Revi's
the
by
next.
itself,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now they have that new ugly ass $3 million hypercar that's based on the Revi. You know, the new crazy, like
They're-
the...
Talk about ugly
It's just
cars.
going backwards. Like, I don't
Backwards.
understand.
So the Pregunta is based on a Diablo, but wears a custom carbon fiber body inspired by a Dassault Rafale fighter jet. So it's inspired by...
Yeah, I think it's ugly.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember the
A nose.
Almost. Remember the Ford GT90? That
No, I
the
don't know
white
what that
one
is.
that was like really boxy. It's
No,
another.
I don't know
It's
what
another
that is.
car from a video game. Ford GT90.
There's another guy that made another. I'm gonna try to see if I can bring this name up. It's something Bentley related. It's like an Oldsmobile meets a Bentley. It's really, really weird.
You've never seen the Ford GT90? Look, this one. I can't believe you never saw this.
No, I don't know what. The fuck
Yeah,
that is.
back in the day, dude. It was like
I've
it was
never even
before
seen
they
this.
came out with the second gen Ford GT. They had this thing. This car reminds me of that a
Yeah,
lot.
pull up this thing. It's called a Packard.
The what?
Packard.
A Packard?
Yeah, you know Packard?
Packard was like an old
Old
ass
ass
American
company.
cars. Yeah.
They're coming back for
Studebaker.
no reason whatsoever. Look at that. This is
What the-
fucking the ugliest
That's-
piece
alright.
of shit that should never exist.
Hear me out. That's a Mulsanne
No,
with a. Hear me out.
that's a
It-
flying spur.
Okay, Flying Spur with Cadillac CTSV headlights.
Yep.
It's got a rolling grill.
And it's got an autistic fucking grill. Like, why
that-
does it have 3 grills
Why
in
does
the
it have
front
3
that are
Schengen grill?
disconnected?
Why are the headlights so complicated? There's a lot of going on here.
It's like the fucking car was an Inception and it broke through the mirror and never fucking got fixed. What the fuck? Like, what?
That
Like,
is ugly as
Yeah,
shit.
but like, why is this even something they would make? Like, why would they? What does the interior look like? Do they even have a photo?
Let's see.
Probably just like a fucking flying spur. Like, why would anyone buy this?
It's
except
probably
for a
it's
flying-
probably
even the
exa-
fucking
even the
logo
thing.
looks like shit.
It's
Yeah,
just
it
holding
looks like
a
Bentley.
wheel instead of a B. No, there's no interior photos.
Yeah, I think it's just
It's probably
terrible.
that's probably just a Bentley inside.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
just
a
don't
Bentley.
understand like why these cars are making a comeback. Like I get the Gunters of the world. I understand because they're bringing back icons. Like the new Flying Spur is not a fucking icon. Like it's a fucking mass depreciating exotic. That's a great car.
Yeah.
Great car, but just not worth anything. Anyways, all right, moving on past the bizarre
Fucking
Oldsmobile
ugly ass
remake
cars that
that's
were
not
made up.
necessary.
Your best friend.
Aw.
Yo, best friend.
You know, I have a lot of respect for this guy. Every
know.
time he comes on, fucking says something, even I disagree with it. I because you know it's one of these things when you have enough self awareness, you understand why people say what they say if they make sense. And he's consistent in his approach, where he looks at the car space based on car and bids. He looks at the car space based on his view of auction pricing and sold pricing, and he's not looking at it from the short term, like I've seen these numbers happen. He's looking at it from historically recorded numbers that are just there or not. But this video is going to piss off a lot of people because he's saying there's a bunch of cars that he doesn't think values will ever move for.
Okay.
And of course, he brings up the Corvette, completely useless. I agree, will never go up. He brings up the Viper. I disagree. He talks about 2 generations Vipers not going up. I think the Viper will eventually go up.
It has to.
Well, he seems to disagree. He says McLaren SLR, no hope for it. to go up. Not the SLS, the SLR, the original McLaren.
722s?
Yeah, those and the ones before that, the regular ones. He's saying zero chance. I disagree too. I think in the long term they'll eventually pick up just on cost of money and money alone.
It's like a real niche car.
Yeah, but it's like here's something where when you're not a money guy and you look at this from the car scene, you don't understand. Let me explain this to you guys this way for money. If you think about gold and the price of gold, there's a cost at some point where gold goes so high, that it's cheaper and it makes more sense to melt your gold watch than actually sell the watch itself. Meaning if gold is worth something astronomically, let's say 10 times more than it is today, at some point, the watch that you have, your gold Rolex, whatever is heavy gold, etc., is worth more melted than sold as a watch. Basically, the gold value outweighs the actual value of the product. Yeah. And its utility. So it's basically it doesn't make sense. And money works the same way. There's a point where things cost so much and cost of production goes up that things that are very cheap have to rise up on money factors alone, nothing to do with popularity of car or anything else. Like if old 911s were 60 grand and now new 911s are 200 grand, in 10 years they're 280 grand, 300 grand, then now the old ones at 60, once people buy them off the market, new cars that come in at 80, 100, 110, because that's the devaluation of the dollar and the cost of the asset just going up. So it's a very different dynamic, but he pissed off a lot of people in this video because he also in the comments, basically a lot of people are calling him out. But he says the 4GT, the new 4GT is not going anywhere.
What?
I kind of, but you see, I understand why he says this shit because the new 4GT is a V6. From a car perspective, it makes sense. It's not up, meaning it's constantly had its ups and downs.
Yeah,
it was way up, and now it's down. And so he's like, the new market's basically the indication they'll go even further down. I disagree. And I think that if historically you've been buying 4GTs since 2017, like I have, then you know basically how these things have gone up and down and have times they go up, times they go down. But we now have a Mustang GTD.
300 grand.
500 grand. Thank you very much for a well-loaded up car. I paid a little bit short of that, slightly short of that. So 500 grand for a fucking Mustang. And you're telling me a 4GT with lower production numbers is not going to be worth 900, which is 150% of MSRP? I don't know. It's already worth 900 for the right colors. But again, what they're seeing is, yes, there's more volume that's 100K cheaper than it was a year ago, 2 years ago. And the volume changes that. The same way that we see right now the 911 ST market dropping. It doesn't mean the cars aren't worth anything. No. It just means that right now there's a ton of them coming off of lease. Dealers are getting them back because people don't want to sell them or have no resales. Yeah, so now they're going 500, 600, instead of they're now in the 6s instead of the 8s. So, it's people look at that as a 200K loss, but it's really not. It never had an 800K consistent value. It had an 800K hype value, which was what is it worth?
It peaked at 800K.
Yeah, so a GT3 RS at 100 over sticker was not the norm for the car. It was just 100 over sticker because nobody had one. Now that there's 12 pages on AutoTrader of GT3 RSs for sale, the norm is 30 over for a cool car, 50 over for a really cool PTS car. But it's not going to be 100 to 150 over like it was when it first came out. So people sometimes take that value and they go, it drops. And then the one that I think he said that a lot of people disagreed with too, he said all the 90s JDM supercars.
He's crazy.
Well,
he is crazy.
Right, but
dude.
look
That's
at where it comes.
and
But
he
look
is
at where it
nuts.
comes from. JDM R34s were at some point 700K.
Yeah,
700K. Now they're 300K.
they peaked high.
Yeah, they peaked
But
very
all
high.
the other ones are getting more expensive now.
But they peaked high. Now they're down. So from where he stands, I agree. It looks like it's depreciating, but depends on your baseline. Depends on what you came in at. If you came in at 200, you have room to go up. If you came in at 700, yeah, it's a mistake and shit's going to go down.
Anyone that's sitting on any of those old
But also
Nissan.
look at 2018 GT2 RSs. I said this originally. When they first came out, the 2018 GT2 RS was 600K. So when it
Sticker.
first... No. The sticker is 300.
Okay.
350. These cars were selling for 600K, 200 to 300 over sticker. They were brand new. Then they dropped to sticker because production, just tons of cars on the market, whatever. They dropped their sticker. Now they're back at 550. So the argument is if someone sold their car because they were afraid and they were like, oh man, this is going down, Well, they lost their 200K if they overpaid. Like the guy I bought the car from, I bought my 18 GT2 RS from a guy that had paid 200K over sticker, which is 550. I paid 340 for my car. Now it's worth 500. So what I'm saying is, if he would have kept that car,
He would have got the
like a year and a half more, because I've had my car for about a year and a half, he would have basically not lost anything.
So you zeroed out.
Yeah, he would have kept his car. He would have driven it a little bit. He would have zeroed out and been like, I'm out. So the argument is, sometimes these hype numbers are an indication of where cars are going. They just don't always stay there. You know, in the short term, they drop and then they go back. But he has an interesting take on things. It's always good to see what people are doing, talking about. But again, that's one of the reasons why I always say, there was another guy, I think the Vin Wiki guy.
I like him. He's cool.
Yeah, I
did a rally with him a couple years ago.
We did he posted something on social media saying he had no idea the Ferrari market would explode, and we've been talking about it for like 2 years. But
do you not pay attention?
no, I think, you know what I think it is I think people hate us so much in the car space.
okay.
Like they hate us so much. Like so much. It is just reality. That they hate us so much that they just don't want to acknowledge
Anything we say.
Yeah, no matter what, even though how many times we're right, no matter how many times we do something, they're just like, fuck those guys. I don't know if it's a money thing because they're all poor or not, or like, what the fuck? But I don't understand what it is, but it's just reality of like money. If you're right 10 out of 10 predictions, then you should fucking pay attention. It's pretty simple, but I don't get it. Anyways, and let's, I think we only have one last thing left, right?
This thing, because it keeps coming up.
Look at this. It's
This thing is
beautiful.
fucking sweet, man.
It's fucking beautiful.
It's a manual hypercar with
2,000 horsepower.
That is in fucking sanity.
So knowing my pussy ass, I would drive this like 0 to 30 and then cruise at 45 and then
This
at
car
80.
will get up to 60 miles an hour on that back road so fast.
I would want to test something.
What?
Getting head at 2,000 horsepower, if you hit the accelerator so fast, what would happen to the girl giving you head at that moment?
So
would
this
your cock go to the back of her throat to the point where it come out of her head, or would that be a crime, or would that be a hot movie?
Okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this the right way. Does she die?
Well, that's the point. I don't know. I mean, 2,000. I've never tested 2,000 horsepower. Maybe we need to borrow a Rimac.
I hate the fact that that's actually a possibility. Like we're not saying that just to say just for some shit. It's like
No,
let's
I'm
go
just
borrow a
saying,
Rimac.
we should borrow a Rimac and like we should test this theory out, because I think that's
You know how many?
crazy.
You got a lot of forms got to be signed for that.
Yeah,
Liability
but
forms.
I mean, there could be def.
Mad
involved.
liability
2,000
forms.
horsepower and head is
Absolutely.
But this thing is beautiful. The first reiterations were very pretty, but the last one with the convertible top and the 6-speed, whatever. Yeah.
But weren't they going under
Hennessey
for a while?
Yeah,
and then someone saved them. Who saved them?
I don't know.
Probably someone in the UAE. But
I don't know.
somebody saved them and gave them a shit ton of money. And look, they're doing fucking
Well,
crazy
you know,
shit.
last time we said someone in the UAE must have bought the McLaren collection. Someone told me we were wrong. They said that the guy from Tom Hartley from the UK bought that collection.
I mean,
The dealer, the like world famous dealer.
it said undisclosed. So what do we know?
super. Someone said that. I don't know
they
if it's
could be
true or not.
wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't sound like a wrong comment. Usually the troll comments don't sound like the real comments. Like you can kind of differentiate them. Do we have any questions or anything from last week? Or nobody gives a shit about
I'm
what
actually
we do?
looking right here to see if any got any questions in here. Not anything that I can read out loud.
Why not?
No, it's just a bunch of comments. No one that shit or anything.
So-
But let's just say next time, give us some questions to answer. Not stupid. Actually, no, give us some stupid
No,
ones.
stupid questions.
Give me some stupid ones. we
Stupid
can answer.
questions back too. We don't mind at the end. I mean, we're just doing this for fun. So whatever the fuck you guys want to know,
Damn,
money,
this shit is
cars,
fucking sick, dude.
woman stuff. Not.
Oh, here we go. Here's a good
We
one.
have a question about women.
Not a question, just a statement. And it's like the one that people keep saying, what's going on with the lady in the helmet?
What lady?
What lady in the helmet?
I don't understand what's wrong with people. Like,
And the guest keeps saying it, which is weird. I don't understand. Like, what lady in the helmet? Is no one going to refer to the lady in the helmet? We don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why people really keep seeing this situation. I wonder if someone's like AIing our stuff and putting it out there.
Or maybe I'm editing her in, and I'm just not letting everybody know that.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched our shows, so I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, guys, it's been a pleasure. Another week, another dollar, and hopefully you guys learned something new. And we will catch you next week.